guys, welcome to this week's bump date. I'm sorry there was no bump date last week. I filmed one and was trying desperately to put it out to you, but we had technical difficulties. I don't know what happened. The footage semi-corrupted and there was no volume. There was no sound, no audio in the entire video, and I couldn't get it back. So I had to scrap the entire video, which was a bummer, but that's okay. We're moving on. It's a beautiful new week. Let's talk about 31 weeks. So I am 31 weeks and a few days now. Things have shifted so much. I feel like I hit 30 weeks and things definitely changed, but we'll talk about that in a minute as I go through these questions. We're now 5.5 weeks until home birth safe, which is blowing my freaking mind. I cannot believe it. Like, that's so soon. I remember being so impatient with Grayson and Mackenzie in the last trimester. I felt like I was just waiting around for my baby to be born, and I don't know if it's because my kids are older. And I mean, maybe it would be no, because even when I had just Mackenzie and she was little and she was busy, it was really chill. I just had one kid, and I still had time to feel really impatient. But with having two older children, and we have and all of the things we have going on in our week, I homeschool my kids, as you all know. So like, our week is full of homeschool classes and lessons and actual homeschooling, and like then we go to outside lessons and classes throughout the week. And we didn't even sign up for that many this week, but it's still keeping us busy several days a week. I run a homeschool group in our local community, and that has us meeting about 6 times a month. So that is quite busy as well and keeps the schedule full. So I feel like, and then just like normal life, you know, having to keep up with the house and get ready for baby and do all of these things. And then also, you know, just be a mother to a 12 and an 8-year-old, plus do YouTube and my hobbies and everything. I just feel like my days are very full, and so they go by very quickly. And I have not had that impatient, like I literally cannot make the days pass fast enough feeling that I did the first 2 times. And I feel like I'm not gonna feel that. I could eat my words and end up feeling that, but it's just different this time. I just feel like my days are so full in a good way, especially since we're trying to get the last bits in while my days can be full before we take a huge rest in the winter. I just feel like they're passing so quickly these weeks, and there's just not a lot of time to dwell on the fact that things feel slow, because they don't. So if you are feeling like the days are just ticking by, I highly suggest trying to fill up your days and keep yourself busy, because oh boy, is it a different experience when the time is flying. Must-have items. I guess they're changing a little bit. I'm snacking a lot more. I need a lot more nutrient-dense snacks. Like, I'm really honing in on my nutrition right now, trying to deeply nourish my body in preparation for labor and postpartum. It's really important to me. So the supplements I'm on and the foods that I'm eating, and I'm trying to eat really deeply nourishing things and snack frequently. That is like a must-have right now, because my body is just calling for that extra nutrition, which makes so much sense because the baby is putting on all of his weight. Basically they're like pretty much developed now. Of course, they're developing lungs and brain further until they're born, but now they're really developing that fat, and to build fat in your body takes a lot of energy. So I'm definitely feeling that shift now. So my water bottle is super important, but I'm drinking less water now and trying to get my hydration out of more mineral-based drinks. So lots of teas, healthy juices, adrenal cocktails, you know, things like that. Warming beverages because it's getting colder, but also still water too. So like, I'm always carrying a cup with me, whether it be my water bottle or a mug or something these days. So I would say that's probably a must-have. I can't go without a drink. Because a tip that I heard that was really good is you should be drinking to prevent thirst, not to, like, you shouldn't wait until you're super thirsty and need to chug a bunch, which is true. But I also really think there's something to be said about making sure that the liquid you're ingesting is rich in minerals and not just emptying out, because water flushes minerals and toxins and all that kind of stuff out of our body. So it's really important to replace those minerals, especially when pregnant. I feel like my must-haves are just going to be the same from here on out. My pregnancy ball is an absolute must. Yoga is a must at this point to help align my hips. A hot bath every single night, almost every single night, is super important because I'm getting a lot of, well, it really keeps my pelvic pain low, and it just helps my achy hips and relaxes those muscles, which also helps with something I'm going to talk to you guys about in a couple minutes when I get to that point. But a bath is an absolute must-have for me too. Oh, and then the other must-have is, unfortunately, I now have a cup and a jug of apple cider vinegar at my sink so that when the heartburn strikes, I can go take that. It's the best remedy. It's like not delicious, but it works because it neutralizes the stomach acid. We've gotten to the point where yogurt isn't really working for me as much anymore. And so when I have heartburn, I need to go straight to the apple cider vinegar. So I just mix it with a little bit of water and like a shot of apple cider vinegar in a little cup, and I shoot that down. It's like this, like we're talking like a small amount, just to, and it like kind of burns going down a little bit, but like it neutralizes everything and you feel so much better after. And it's healthy for you. But yeah, my apple cider vinegar is absolutely needed in my life now. Sleep has been weird and good. So around 30 weeks, like how I mentioned, everything started shifting. I started sleeping so deeply all of a sudden, like just getting really deep sleeps, like really nice sleeps. I'm not getting up to pee as many times. I'm able to like sleep through a couple of hours. I still get up to pee a few times every night, but it was pretty excessive. It wasn't pretty excessive, it was just pretty often before, and then I don't know what happened, but I just started sleeping deeper. But then with the deeper sleeps came like the weird pregnancy dreams. Those have started where they're very vivid, they're odd, they're like things that I'm thinking about during my day, but like in a weird twist. I don't know, pregnancy dreams are a thing. And the third trimester, they really hit for me. Sleep has been really good in that way, but I was having an issue where I kind of get, again, I've been talking about this my whole pregnancy, but I keep getting turtled on my back. So I really have to like wedge a pillow at my back. I get Cody to shove it in so that if I roll over, I'm angled at least, because I'll like wake up and my arm will be numb or something and I'll have to move. Because the shifting with the pelvic pain too, it's really hard. I have to turn over in like 4 different stages, and sometimes I'm tired and I fall asleep in the middle of it, and I'm kind of like halfway on my back still. But that has been making my back ache a lot. So the other night, I'm okay now. Last night was better, but like I had like 2 or 3 nights where my back was really sore, just from sleeping weird, and my hips get sore. So my baby is really deep in my pelvis. His head, like he's engaged and locked down there, but his head is just really low. My baby's heads always go really deep into my pelvis pretty early in my pregnancy, or like especially like early in the third trimester and stuff. And as he's growing and that head is getting bigger, I think some of those nights he was kind of turned, or maybe when my bladder was full, it was giving him less room, and I was getting this weird pinching kind of in the front but closer to my hips, and that was really uncomfortable. So I would have to shift around and kind of like get him to move a little bit and move myself. So sleep has been both good but also just a little trickier in some ways. But overall, I feel like sleep has been better than this second trimester. Even though I'm bigger and a little bit more uncomfortable, my sleeps have been deeper and more nourishing. Aches and pains. So the heartburn I mentioned, even though I mentioned the heartburn was getting worse, it's not been every day and it's not been as bad. So I'm trying not to eat any, like, I find foods that really bother me are like cheap red foods. I don't know what, like if I eat pizza from a pizza place, that's probably gonna give me heartburn unless it's like real pizza. If I make spaghetti at home, I can eat that, but if I ate like a tomato-y based thing from a box or something, that would set off my heartburn. So I try and avoid like stuff like that, but I don't normally consume a lot of that food anyway. So I feel like my heartburn has been a little more settled, especially, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I started up a couple of my other supplements. I've started upping my probiotics a lot in the third trimester for several reasons. I do that, and it's just getting better a little bit. Like I'm not having to use something to be able to sleep every night, and I was not that long ago. So we'll see if that lasts or if that gets worse. Maybe it's because he dropped further into my pelvis and he's just like putting less pressure on my stomach. I don't know. Cravings. Again, I don't really get cravings necessarily for foods while I'm pregnant, but I do notice that sometimes I want texture. Sometimes I want, this is funny, but like once every 2 years, once a year, every 2 years, it's not very often at all, I will want Cheese Whiz on toast. Childhood thing, I only eat it for a little bit, I only eat a little bit of it, but every couple of years I'll buy a little thing of Cheese Whiz and I'll have it on toast. But like, I don't even know if it's the Cheese Whiz, but it's like I want the crunch of the toast, and like I bought crunchy cereal because I just wanted like that nice crunch. So I don't really get like I want that food and I need to eat it now, but definitely like food experiences that I prefer over others at times. Baby movement, oh my goodness, has that ever changed? Again, I feel like I hit 30 weeks and I just felt so much more pregnant. I was getting a lot more like, it's harder to move around, my belly is bigger, things are just feeling really pregnant, and his movements have gotten absolutely huge. Like, he's not kicking like like it's not just like, ooh, little boop boop boops, little kicks anymore. Like, it's rolls. I feel him turning, he'll stretch, and my belly will go lopsided because his whole butt will stick out and you can feel it, and he'll stick a little foot out and you can like feel his little foot. So yes, there's still kicks and stuff, but every movement is like huge now, and you feel those elbows and you just feel those rolls, and everything is just really intense now, to the point where it can hurt, obviously, like, because it's, I don't know, with the anterior placenta too, just sometimes it's like, ouch, can you be more gentle, please? Baby movement is really big. Kind of on this topic, I had a midwife appointment actually yesterday, so that was really exciting. My midwife was actually supposed to come last week, at the end of last week, but we just had to reschedule because she had a birth to go to when it was my appointment time. So by all means, go to the birth. One day it will be me inconveniencing somebody else's appointment. So I got to see her yesterday, and that was so nice. She felt where his position was, and she said he feels like another big baby, which I've already been feeling. She thinks, so in her opinion, she thinks he'll probably be under 10 pounds, but bigger than Grayson, who is 9.4. So I feel like that could definitely be true, but it's hard to say. I guess we'll see when I get further along, as we have more appointments, kind of get feeling him and see, because he could definitely be a smaller baby. He could be in between my two. I have Mackenzie was 8'6" and Grayson was 9'4", so I could have a baby in between. I could have a bigger baby, but my belly is measuring 3 weeks ahead right now at 34 weeks. So I'm definitely a lot bigger than I was with Grayson. And again, Grayson was a 9.4 pound baby. So it is very possible that I might have a 10-pounder, but we'll see. You never know. I can tell he's long. I can feel how long his limbs are. I can feel how long his legs are, and his butt to head ratio is like, there's a lot of baby there. I can tell he's tall. I guess it will just depend on when he comes and how long he gets to pack on the pounds for how much he will weigh. But my midwife appointment went really well. My blood pressure is super great. I always am on the lower end of blood pressure scale. Like, I'm like kind of always borderline. I'm always on the low side, always, and even through my pregnancies. So that's nice, because you don't want high blood pressure while you're pregnant, obviously. So I have like no swelling or things like that. My hand, like, I changed my wedding ring to a bigger size that I had on hand, but it's too big. I keep dropping it, so I might have to change it back. Our weather has been really weird, and when it's hot, my fingers might get a little puffy. But no like ankle swelling, no foot swelling, nothing like that. I feel very normal in all the other spots of my body, and I feel like I just have a belly. The only challenge, I guess, is in the 3rd trimester, and I think it's because my baby's heads go so low. Like, she felt where he was, and she was like, oh yeah, his head's really low down there. Which again, is just normal for me. It's normal for some people. It's normal to not be like that as well. Some people's babies don't drop really low into their pelvis until they're like in labor. Mine just do it really early, because they're like, why not? Let's go hang out in mom's pelvis super low. So because I get that, I get a lot of swelling in my vagina. Can I say vagina on YouTube? I should be able to say vagina, it's not a bad word. And yes, specifically like vaginal swelling. So just in case you get this and you're a first time mom, I want to talk about that, because it's very normal, and I have nothing is TMI when it comes to birth to me. I feel like it's all physiologically normal. So we should talk about it. But that is very common for me where I can get quite swollen. So that's why like a bath is really important for me. I can stick my feet up and that helps in the hot water. And just prevents me from getting like too uncomfortable down there. It's nothing like really severe or anything. It will probably get worse for me when I'm a couple weeks away from giving birth. That usually happens. But it started quite early this time. I don't remember if it started this early with the other two. So we don't know. We're wondering, like, do we think he'll come on the earlier side? Obviously, I don't want him to come before 37 weeks, at least. But we're really curious to see if he's gonna be like, am I gonna have a bit of an earlier baby this time? Because I have one that was on my due date, and I have one that was 41 weeks and 3 days. So it's a real mystery. But there's just little things that make me go, I'm not sure. But besides that, everything's really good. So that's been uncomfortable sometimes. I just have to take it easy. I have to sit more and like lay down on my side a couple of times throughout the day, just briefly, just to give my body a bit of a rest. That's often why I will retreat to the bath. I'm just really trying to listen to my body right now. But my midwife appointment was great, and it was awesome to like hear his strong heartbeat. He wasn't staying around like 143-ish this whole time, which was about what Grayson was too, I think. So that's interesting, both my boys. But yeah, it's been a really, really good week, and I think I've covered everything I can think to cover. I hope you guys enjoy these bump dates. I hope you guys are enjoying now that I kind of have them up to date, because I figured I'm gonna run up. There's gonna be 1 week where it's like, no, it's gonna be baby week, and I need to actually be filming the week I am. So yeah, if you are currently also pregnant and you want to tell me how you're feeling, how far along you are, please feel free to do so. I love to hear that. I love to hear how you guys are going, and I just hope you're all really doing well. And if you're not pregnant but you're just enjoying these videos, then awesome. Thank you for watching them, because it's really fun to share them. I'm sure I will love looking back on these in the future. So let's show you the bump and then we'll be done. All right, so here is my bump at 31 weeks. Large, in charge. And oh, I'm all staticky again. My belly, oh, I don't know if you can see, he just moved, so we're a little lopsided here. I don't know. Belly button is kind of sticking out now, but still kind of flat. So weird. I don't remember when I popped last time, but I think it's still funny that it's kind of sticking out and kind of in, just kind of a dent. Yeah, big old boy in there, measuring 34 weeks. Crazy. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in my next one. Bye.